City Wrestling.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Grind City Wrestling. This is episode 233. I am Dustin Starr. Be sure to follow us on social media at Grind City Media. Take that subscribe button to Slap City wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening. And last week, I ate a little bit of crow. That's right, and that's all I'm going to say about it. If you want to know more, then all you have to do is go back to grindcitymedia.com/podcast and listen in the archives. This week, it's about blood and guts. SummerSlam is on the way, and then also we're going to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's bell time. Introducing first my co-host and tag team partner, ladies and gentlemen, Rock, Eric McMahon. What's up, B?
Man, I'm just living my best life, and if you guys don't have to go back in the archives, because I can tell you, Dustin ain't crow, Eric was right, Dustin was wrong, bam, we'll just leave it at that.
Introducing next the third man in the trio. I got nothing else to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Devin Walker.
Baby!
What's up, Lee?
What's up, bro? I got a video game review I got to talk about. We got some more stuff to talk about. We got some shit to discuss today, bro. Let's get to it, because I know it's felt like a light week in wrestling, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff to discuss. So let's
no. There's a ton going on in pro wrestling. And while you show off the fit of the week, I'm going to tell the people to follow Eric on Twitter at @E_MacLife. And then you can follow Devin at Devin_Walker2. And of course, I'm at Dustin Starr, and Grind City Media is at Grind City Media. And this Dead Man shirt is looking pretty sweet. What year is that from, Devin?
This is from, it still has WWF on here, so I guess it's
Dude, that's got to be what, like 97 then?
Maybe like 97 Taker, yeah. It says it's the World Wrestling Federation, then in the back it's like Taker in a shadow. Yeah,
it says Afraid of the Dark? Or Are you afraid of the dark?
Are you afraid of the dark? And then on the back is like him in like a shadow. It's a dope shirt.
Very, very cool fit from, I guess, the late 90s, I would imagine. Late 90s for that one?
It's still WWF, so it's about mid-90s.
All right, we have a lot of wrestling to talk about.
Truth be told, it didn't change. I just looked it up. It didn't change until 2002.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, there we go. So that could be the early 2000s then.
Yeah.
All right, well, a lot going on. We had a lot going on Memphis Wrestling. I'm going to catch you guys up with that. Huge television taping over the weekend. Just was absolutely packed. But first, let's talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. And there was a lot of really good wrestling on television. Who's going to start? E, you up first?
Yeah, I'll start, man. Dude, Fun Brock is fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love the personality change, but ain't nothing better than just a mean, nasty dog of Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? Like, it's just who he is in general. Like, you read a lot of reviews. The guy is no bullshit in every sense of the word in every walk of life. And him being that in the, like, listen, Cody's a star, right? We already know that. And especially in his hometown, and Brock just laying waste to him in his hometown. Like, that's great booking to me.
Oh, it was awesome. And one of the cool things that I learned is there's a new documentary coming up on Cody. Did you guys see this coming up on Peacock?
Yeah, he's been selling it like crazy at the press conferences with his arm.
Oh my gosh. And WWE is so good, and I'm trying to learn this as much as I can producing the Memphis Wrestling TV show, but they conveniently place these promos and these commercials right after Cody's segment, so you can see, oh wow, there's a Cody. And one of the things that came up in this documentary, just on the commercial, was I think Kevin Owens says Vince McMahon got on a plane and flew to Cody to get him back. That never happens. So I can't wait to see this documentary, and I'm sure we're going to see a whole lot of Brock Lesnar in the documentary. It'll be the third match. They're saying it's the rubber match coming up at SummerSlam. Cody's got to win it, right?
I hope not.
I mean, Brock don't seem like he going full time, so yeah, I would say so, right? But here's the deal: like when you see Cody Rhodes' family sitting ringside, you know it ain't gonna go well for him. When you see mom's there, mom ain't gonna be happy. Like, I knew it was gonna go all downhill at that point.
I love to see Cody do his like SpongeBob storm off and then get his ass beat. That's my favorite thing.
When he turned around, when he did the dad walk through the curtain like he was going to get, I'm going to go get him. I thought the same thing, the dad walk.
He did the dad, then he got his ass smacked and thrown back out. Oh, I love that part.
Dude, and Brock did not look like he took care of him.
Nah, he choked his ass.
There might have been a conversation backstage where it's like, hey, brother, look, this is worldwide television. We need to sell some pay-per-views. You better give it to me, partner. And I'm pretty sure with Brock Lesnar, you don't have to say that very much.
But even that
really,
like F5 on the outside, those chair shots, I mean, yeah, they were in safe spots, but he wasn't pulling them.
Very, very good stuff, man. I used to hate that WWE would do that to Jerry Lawler in Memphis. Like if they were in Memphis, then they would try to get some heat. But that's what it's all about, man, is getting the heat, having Cody's mom cry on television, especially after hearing all this tradition and following the footsteps and finishing the story for his father, and then to have his mom at ringside crying as he's getting demolished. Really, really good stuff. That was Eric's best wrestling that he watched all week. D, it's hard to beat that one. What you got?
So I can go 3 different directions, but I'm going to go one direction because I want to take this somewhere else later. I'm not going to go wrestling I watch because I mean it's been great wrestling all from Dominic Mysterio winning his first singles title in WWE.
Crazy.
Watching a goofy ass Vikings rules match on Monday Night Raw. That's your
loved it. I loved it.
That's your people you rock. To the other thing I really want to talk about later is Ridge Holland hurting the third person in WWE, which I will bring that up in my notes later on today. But the best wrestling that I've watched or played all week is AEW Fight Forever video game on PS5. Yo, that game is lit, yo. I bought it
forever. Fight forever.
PS is up to 5 now?
Bro, how old are you?
40. I'll be 44 in a month.
Well, brother,
Ethan's gonna want one very soon. I promise you that.
That is a conversation that you should probably have off the podcast, Eric. What is PlayStation numbers up to now? All right, so Devin, how was it? The game looks awesome. It looks like you can do and I haven't played it, but just watching like online, it seems like it's very Grand Theft Auto like. You can destroy stuff and it stays destroyed. Like just all the stuff that's kind of not been in wrestling video games are now there, it seems like.
Yeah, it's a touch away from your realistic kind of video games. It goes back to like the arcade style of video games where, like you said, you can break stuff and you can hit people with weapons, and then there's a couple bugs in the game, but like for just a video game, it's an easy pick up and play. I will say I got one gripe, 5-star. I have one big gripe with the 2 gripes. Number 1, there's no announcing. So you play matches and there's no one announcing the match.
Crazy. I'd say they should have at least given us an NBA Jam to where, like, when a big move happens,
boom, shakalaka.
Yeah, or what would Suicida?
Yeah.
Just have like random.
Not even on the
Excalibur.
finisher.
I know the finisher. All you get after the match is Jim Ross saying, "Oh, that was a 4-star match." Like, or before he's like,
wow.
"We got a fatal 4-way coming up next on AEW Dynamite," or like shit like
on
that.
WWAEW.
Yeah. So that's my first gripe. My second gripe is on the entrances. They don't do their full entrances. They only do to the top of the Titantron and they cut to the match.
Man, so like they did leave out some. So I haven't heard this yet. So that's kind of to me that's a big part. To me, that's like a
exactly.
Well, let's be honest. You only. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking my age here, but usually when I was playing, WCW Nitro back in the 90s and all these, when those video games were badass, right? Yeah, you remember 90s. Those games though. They were legit.
You're talking Nintendo 64, No Mercy. That's
dog,
my jam, bro.
We're talking about Atari video games.
Hey, listen, WCW
Fire Pro Wrestling
was fire back in the day, but you always skip to the match anyways after the main part of the entrance.
Yeah, I feel like that's a part of like the lore of like wrestling though. Like, let's say like if I play with Omega, I want to see the people come out with the brooms, but I want to see them go all the way down to the ring.
Please tell me that Justin Roberts' voice introducing the characters is at least there. Okay, all right.
It's phenomenal. But no, AEW.
Yeah, Man Crush was about to have his heart broken.
Oh,
his wiener just did this.
Omega, you gotta have it. What was that? Man Crush.
I give it. I'll probably give it because it's the first game. It's a little buggy still. I'm about to start the story mode. I don't know who I'm going to use for the story mode, but I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars for their first video game.
All right, who do you think you're gonna use? Like right now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Choose now.
Adam Cole. Baby.
Okay, Dustin. 1, 2, 3, choose.
Jericho, probably. I'd probably choose
Jericho
Jericho or something.
Cowboy
I would think that Jericho would have a very intricate storyline. Like he's one of the main characters. Hey, let's do something fun for Jericho. That's pretty cool. I like hearing about this video game because it is the first one. We have heard about it. How long did they plug this? Was it 2 years?
Years. Yeah, it's been 2 years.
I mean, this thing has been going forever. So two things could have happened here. The fans could have really just said, they're not showing the interest. We waited 2 years and we didn't get it all. But it seems like the AEW fans are very patient saying, hey, this is the first game. I love it. There's a couple of bugs, but I'm not complaining about it. I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to fight forever.
It's hilarious to see like you have to unlock Cody Rhodes. It's kind of funny.
Really? So Cody did make the cut.
Cody's in the game, bro. It's kind of funny to see Cody Rhodes in the game. But yeah, so that's the best wrestling I got all week. We got some other stuff we got to talk about though, 5-star. We got some shit to discuss.
Yes, I've got the best wrestling that I watched all week. I also have a short list of news that happened this week in the world of professional wrestling. And I want to turn it over to you guys to give me your news as well. But first, the best wrestling that I watched all week wasn't even on television. It was kind of a private event. Dr. Tom Pritchard, one of the greatest wrestling trainers of all time. He's trained, Edge, Christian, Kurt Angle, The Rock. The list goes on and on and on. But he was at the Wrestle Center over the weekend on Saturday. And just hearing him talk to the stars of tomorrow. And keep in mind, there were guys in this seminar with 20 years wrestling experience trying to figure out, like, what is it that's keeping me from getting to the next level? And for Dr. Tom Pritchard, and for you guys, big basketball fans, just imagine like the Michael Jordan of training basketball coming in and telling these guys and gals how to make it to the next level. Very, very cool stuff. Did everything from promo class to telling stories, lots of Dusty Rhodes impersonations. So I got to have Dr. Tom Pritchard come on the podcast at some point, at least to give us his Dusty Rhodes impersonation. But a guy who has seen and done it all. He was at the Wrestle Center. We actually sat down with him and we had a short conversation with him about the facility because he was there in the classic days of Memphis wrestling. He was there in the Texas territory days when it was Texas versus Memphis and all that kind of stuff. So to have Dr. Tom Pritchard in the house was very, very cool. And coming up in the next several weeks on Memphis Wrestling, you're going to see him on the television show. But then also, not to stay a homer. Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
You know what I love about hearing about, like, even if you don't know Dr. Tom Pritchard, you know Dr. Tom Pritchard. Because
Right.
like every single documentary, when somebody's talking about their come up, they're always talking about him and how he influenced them in some way, shape, or form, whether it be in-ring work or just was a mentor behind the scenes. So like, get him on. I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah, he was not at our Sunday taping. Instead, we had the Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer and the Monster Cruel, and that was because Dr. Tom did have to go to Darren Drozdov's celebration of life on that Sunday. So he will be back for a television taping. My other best wrestling that I watched all week, I cannot wait for you guys to see the footage from Archer versus Cruel. It was so awesome. The Murder Hawk Monster. What luck did I have, guys? On Friday night, he literally destroyed the Best Friends, all three of them by himself. Him and Jake the Snake Roberts destroyed them. Then on Saturday at Battle of the Belts, man, he did everything but take the title from Orange Cassidy. And I'm sitting here being a believer because I think AEW is going to Japan. So I'm kind of thinking maybe because of that Japanese, with Lance always being over there, maybe they switched the title. But I was really hoping for him to bring the International Championship to Memphis, put it on television. It was freaking awesome. There's a media scrum and all sorts of stuff that you guys are going to see. That was the best wrestling that I watched all week. Yes, a homer. Man, check this out. Like walking into breakfast and having King Cobra for the first time in 20 years, see Dr. Tom Pritchard and their eyes light up and stand up and hug each other and all that kind of stuff. Two Memphis wrestling legends. It was just a really, really cool weekend. So that was the best wrestling that I watched. No, it was really cool though. You know, you had two guys that came up in the business and
I'm razzing you, as they say.
Oh, I know. All right, so let's get to some news this week. And Devin's been teasing it here like he's got something good.
Okay, I got a couple things. First thing. All right. So when are we going to talk about Ridge Holland, bro?
We're going to talk about him right here, right now.
Okay, this dude has hurt 3 people in the last, year and a half?
I'm never going to forgive him for one of them.
For the Big E one, right?
Yeah, so, that hurts my heart.
And I want to ask y'all, because y'all work in the business, y'all work in entertainment, and y'all work in this kind of space, right? Especially you, Dustin, you run a show every week. At what point do guys say, I don't want to work with him? Because it was first, it was big. First one was, it was NXT. Who was it? I forgot who it was. He over rotated on the belly to belly in NXT. Then he goes on the SmackDown show and hurts Big E.
On belly to belly on the floor. Belly to belly again on the floor.
Then last week, he goes to belly on someone from Pretty Deadly and separates his shoulder.
Okay, so first and foremost.
3 strikes, buddy.
First and foremost, Rich Holland, you are banned from doing belly to belly suplexes.
That's an easy fix.
Bro, if I'm standing across the ring from you, you are not picking me up. And if somebody has a problem with that, I will tell a producer, this guy right here is not going to pick me up because he doesn't know how to put me down safely. And that's the bottom line. You're not doing it to me. That's it. Done. It might cost him his job, to be perfectly honest with you, because they really do like him. Obviously, they keep bringing him back, putting him in good spots. He looks good. He worked good, except for that belly to belly. But you got to tell me, man, if there's somebody on the roster that's hurting everybody, and that's 3 times within, last couple of years, they got to take that move away from him, first of all. You broke Big E's neck.
Yeah, but you almost
Big E was the man at the time, too.
Yes, and built like a freaking tank. And you broke his neck, dropping him on his head on the floor. Accidents happen, but when you got 3 in a row like that, man, that's not good.
But if you watch like Brock when he does like belly to bellies, or Kurt Angle, it's a prime example back in the day. I mean, he was a Olympic level wrestler. I mean, belly to belly is a wrestling move, like, shoot style, amateur style wrestling. And man, dude, your technique has to be flawless on those. In real life to really get it. Now, I know in pro wrestling, they're helping you out to a degree, which is shortchanging, like really making sure the technique is right. But even on that, man, your arch needs to be so good. Like I grew up in the amateur wrestling ranks, right? And you have to be fully extended. Your arch has to be great. You have to have the perfect amount of leverage, because in a real life scenario in amateur wrestling, if you don't have all that, then the guy's coming down on your chest. You know what I mean? Which you're going to get pinned. So it forces you to have that. So if you ever never learned that great technique, like Brock Lesnar does, like Kurt Angle does, those, then it's probably, if your guy isn't good enough or your timing isn't right, stay away from that effing move altogether.
That's why I almost got into a shoot fight with Scott Steiner. He was going for a belly to belly. I kind of landed on top of him, but it was he was giving me the bump, and he got hot about it, grabbed me, and I said, whoa, wait a second. Said, you might not want to do this, big papa punk. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that, but we almost did get into it. But yeah, definitely got to take the belly to belly away from Ridge Holland, and it might even cost him. It might cost him his job, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. So that's my first note. I'm sorry. I want to get y'all. I've been thinking about that all week, because I want to get y'all's expert opinion on it. Number two. I got 3 things. Number 2. So we know Blood and Guts is coming up. If you listen to this podcast whenever, it's probably already happened. My bad, guys. In full transparency, my Maria is taking me out of town for our anniversary, and she's taking me to the beach, so I cannot say no to the opportunity to chase her around the beach.
There, bro. It's a trap.
Like a bikini, bro. All right, so that's why we're doing this before Blood and Gut.
It's a trap. She's going to leave you there.
Hey, man, leave me in paradise, baby. Anyway, I'm sorry, Devin.
My second one. So I think y'all saw a couple weeks ago that AEW announced their new guidelines. They took away certain moves. They took away certain spots. They took away certain weapons.
Can't touch the fan. Can't touch the fans.
Of course, MJF poured tequila on a kid. So yeah, there you go. But I want to ask y'all how much of these new guidelines, because Tony Khan went on the Dan Le Batard show, I believe, a couple of days ago and said it's not going to change the show that much. It's more of guidelines for the refs. How much of these new guidelines will change Blood and Guts, and when we watch it in a couple hours?
Well, go down the guideline.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Let me find it real quick. Hold on.
And while we're pulling that up, I want to say that Jon Moxley is going to feel like he's at home in Blood and Guts, because every single time this dude gets in the ring, he's bleeding and he's gutting. Okay, so here we go. Below are verbatim moves and interactions listed in the document that fit that criteria. All right, so here's the band stuff.
Unprotected shots to the head.
Duh.
shots to the shots to the back of the head,
Duh.
buckle bombs, blind moves backward into the turnbuckle.
So is that like a power bomb into the turnbuckle?
Yeah, buckle bombs. The seizure like reactions, like the Devon thing, like when you get hit with something, you do like
Then you start shaking and stuff. Yeah, okay.
Don't do that anymore. Spitting. Wow.
Come on, man. COVID, bro. You can't spit anymore.
Blood in the crowd. No bleeding while in the crowd, or no throwing bloody gear, tape, or other objects to the crowd.
Is this not the most obvious list in the history of the world? Like, if I was telling my wrestlers, don't throw your bloody garments into the audience, I would feel like a moron.
You gotta tell,
I mean,
you gotta tell
and
John
don't
Moxley
hit somebody with a chair in the back of the head.
yeah, don't. Okay.
Taking drinks or food from guests in the crowd. That's for you.
Oh, that's some bullshit. Adam Page is going to have a huge issue.
Hangman, that was like a planted spot. Like, I remember when they were here at Lander Center, they picked some of my buddies to hold the beer for him to hand it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's tough. Physical contact with the crowd.
I do think the MJF thing was a work, but you know, when you're going through the crowd and you're trying to move people out of the way, that's a lawsuit. You can't physically move them out of the way. They're going to have to not fight in the crowd as much as what's going to happen.
Or they're going to have to WWE it and have that perfect cornered off like.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here are some of the moves that have been taken out. Right, spots and bumps on the ring apron and outside.
Oh, come on. That's
Table-
all they do.
I don't know if these are banned, but it says table, ladder, chair spots in and out of the ring. We do that. We see that all the time.
So from inside the ring all the way to the floor through a table
It says
might be
in and out of the ring, not in to out, right? In or out.
Yeah, it says in and out. In and out of the ring. Only allowed on the padding. Only allowed with padding. That's what it says.
Wow. Okay.
Any elevated spots outside of barricades, dives, and ladder spots on stage, around the arena, and other places outside the ring. All pile driver tombstone variations, including sit-down drivers, inverted poison hurricanrana, and vertebreakers. That's Kenny Omega's finisher.
Dude, that is Lucha Brothers. I mean, Omega. Gosh, there's so many rough pile driver type of bumps that they're doing out there. I'm going to have to pay close attention when I'm watching AEW, see if they're breaking these rules for some reason. This is weird.
So it said, there's a note in here that said these moves can't be utilized unless it's approved by the company's medical team and the producer coach of the match involved, meaning both sides must be in accordance on approving it, not one or the other. So like one guy can't say, yo, I'm about to do this move, and the other's like, yo, relax, and still do it anyway.
So this is a way to prevent from the same move being done multiple times. You know, it's kind of similar to where, like, if you're going to say a cuss word, it needs to be a scripted cuss word. Exactly. Nobody go out there and cuss on their own, because we've got to use those cuss words, you know, for the pops, you know what I mean? We got to maximize those. So if everybody's cussing, then when so-and-so says the word ass, then it's not as effective, you know, stuff like that. Or I think they're still, what it sounds like is they're still going to do those things, but they have to make sure that they're not done multiple times in the same show, and they got to make sure they're done safely, quote, air quotes here, safely.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it correctly. I mean, if everybody's doing a tope suicida or whatever, then it just becomes a normal move and nothing spectacular.
So this one, John Moxley might not have, he's going to have a gripe about. Intentional bleeding.
So I read a recent...
I
read a recent article where Mox was getting interviewed, and he does have a point here. He has lost his mind a little bit, but he says that if you're in a fight and you're watching MMA, Eric, and you see somebody get punched in the eye, you see a mark on their face. You see some blood. So he feels like that any match that he's in, it's so physical that it can make you bleed or make him bleed. So he's just trying to be overly realistic, but he's bleeding every single match, so it kind of makes blood and guts. We already know he's going to be bleeding at blood and guts, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and no blood, no intentional blood at our blood and guts show.
Hone my craft at the United Wrestling Network.
Yeah, right.
We'll see about that. Like I said, we'll be paying close attention. Here's a couple more. Choking or strangling with hands or a weapon or hanging spots. Injury spots or angles.
Wait, hold on. Let's talk about a choke slam.
There's gonna be some of those.
Yeah, no choking, but with your hands. Choke slam.
Well, no, at WWE, when I was there, a blatant joke by putting your hand around the neck like that is a disqualification. You'd have to do it on the rope or with your foot or something like that. You couldn't just strangle them with your hand like this. So that was like a rule that you never heard about that WWE made their referees.
Count to 5, right? 1.
That's supposed to be like a poke in the eye. It's supposed to be an automatic disqualification. A choke like this is supposed to be an automatic disqualification in WWE.
Wow. And the last one I got for you is high risk dives or top rope moves. 450s, 630s, double moonsaults, SSP, etc.
Double moonsault? Have you ever seen a double moonsault?
Dude, Vikingo is out of business at this point. That's all he does is flips and.
Yeah, but a double moonsault, that's 2 gainers. Like that's have you seen that?
I've never seen.
Have you seen
double backflip moonsault?
I saw one where the dude did the flippy and landed right on his head. These things are all over the internet on Botchamania.
I'm talking backwards. A moonsault is backwards. I don't think I've ever seen 2 rotations.
No, I never seen somebody do both 2. Like not even.
Go watch a Vikingo match. He might do it.
He might.
All right. So new rules and regulations for AEW. Will that make you want to watch or not want to watch, or do you even care? Like the average everyday wrestling fan has no idea that those rules were implemented, so they'll just watch and probably not even notice a difference, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna watch just to see if they break the rules or how many.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna print out these rules and I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna reference. Let's start a tally.
Make a little check. It's a drinking game at this point, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
we would be messed up.
Every dive move from in the ring, out of the ring, you have to take a shot.
All right, so a little bit of notes around the wrestling world, especially AEW. You got anything else on your list, Devin? You got anything, Eric?
That's all I got. I'll say I'll have one more thing, but we got 8 minutes, so I'll leave it to you.
My one thing is, man, WWE is killing the ratings right now.
Yeah, they're killing it. Awesome
They're
stuff.
like 1.8 this week. Yeah.
I read something recently about LA Knight, and his spot had millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and all this stuff with just how many people are watching him. I have a couple of quick notes. New women's tag team champions came from WWE Raw. Devin, Chelsea Green with Sonya Deville. Have you guys noticed how her name is introduced on the mic?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Look,
Deville and Chelsea Green. I love it.
This is what I give you for that stupid ass title change.
I love it. I thought it was great.
So tell Raquel Rodriguez that nobody cares about her back muscles, bro.
I love Raquel Rodriguez. I'm not going to tell her nothing of the such, and I cannot wait to see her versus Rhea Ripley, because ultimately that's what they've done, is taken her out of that tag team now, the feud against Rhea Ripley. Dominic Mysterio was awesome on NXT. Blood and Guts is this week. Ricky Starks won the Owen Hart. He defeated CM Punk.
Yeah.
CM Punk ain't as over as everybody wants him to be.
Yeah, bro. He's not as over as you think, bro. Like, he's not. He's not. I'm sorry. Everywhere that's not Chicago 5-star, he's not over, bro.
He did the JOB, and I loved it, but I was shocked. Also, big shout out to Willow Nightingale, one of my favorite women's wrestlers right now, picking up the Owen Hart as well, beating Ruby Soho.
Shout out to our tag team partner, Sky Blue, who's going viral every single week for the right reasons.
I would love to have both of them in Memphis wrestling. All right, any other news before we get into what's coming up?
Wait, Eric, have you seen these Sky Blue photos?
No, but I think I should look them up right now.
Sure.
Right,
every week she goes viral every week. Shout out to Sky Blue.
So while Eric looks those up, going to tell you what's coming up.
Like her Instagram?
No, dude,
just type in
Twitter. Go on Twitter.
Just type in Sky Blue. All right, here's what's coming up for Memphis Wrestling while E-Rock is doing that. This Saturday on Memphis Wrestling, the Pope is in action. He'll be in the main event. You can watch and live chat with us, youtube.com/@Memphis Wrestling. Next Friday, July 28th, Memphis Wrestling tag teams with the Memphis Redbirds for Wrestling Night. We're going to have pre-game matches, Memphis Wrestling during the game, and then also big main event immediately following. You get your tickets right now at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. That's a 7 p.m. first pitch. So we'll be out there 5:30, 6 o'clock with our matches. Then Saturday, August 5th, SummerSlam. You can watch it absolutely free at Dave and Buster's with us. And E-Rock is getting caught up on Sky Blue. Then Sunday, August 6th, the next day, we've got Dirty Dango coming to Memphis Wrestling. Then Saturday, August 19th, Memphis Wrestling tag teaming with the Pontotoc Run Club. benefiting St. Jude. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned. August 19th, we're going to have a big announcement at who's going to join us out there on Rumble on the Trail. Then August 26th, we're in Gleason, Tennessee. Check this out, Devin. This event is called the TATER Town Throwdown.
What the hell?
Tater Town Throwdown?
TATER Town
You coming with this shit, bro?
Throwdown.
Man, that's
No,
country as hell, dude.
There's a big sweet potato festival that happens in Gleason, Tennessee, and they wanted to call it the TATER Town Throwdown for that festival, and it's benefiting Gleason High School.
The great Jessica Benson just came and sat down next to me at her desk because I'm recording from my office. Hold on, let me take off this video filter. I want to get her honest opinion about what do you think of a wrestling event called the Tater Town Throwdown?
It's a big sweet potato festival in Gleason, Tennessee that they do every year. It's real big, and I think it's the Tater Town Festival. And so this year we're raising funds for Gleason High School with pro wrestling and Memphis wrestling, and so they want to call it the Tater Town Throwdown. There's nothing more wrestling than that, right?
Yeah, tell me your country is hell without telling me your country is hell.
It's gonna be a lot of people with two teeth at that Tater Town Throwdown, bro.
Yeah.
What's up, Jessica, by the way?
Hey, by the way, hey, you should get Jessica's live reaction. Go on our chat and click that link I just sent.
Okay.
Get her live.
All right, last one I want to mention to you. I kind of teased it last week.
Come on, bro.
Sunday, August 27th, the real one. Bada boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing? Enzo is coming to Memphis Wrestling, and those tickets are on sale right now at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com, and you can't teach that. Apparently, I am missing out on an inside joke right here.
Dude, you seen the Sky Blue footage, man? People start putting their matches in slow
We're
motion.
going back to Attitude Era days.
I know, right?
Oh my
They put
gosh.
shit in slow motion for great reason.
Wrapping things up, E, what you got going on this weekend?
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, thanks for the views.
Yeah.
I gotta click
what
this
do I
link.
got going on this week? I'm actually flying to Chicago. I'm speaking at the Mascot University. I'm a keynote speaker there. I've given tidbits to all the young up-and-comers throughout all the different leagues and organizations in college.
Put me
And
over.
then I'll be in Chicago actually till Wednesday or whatever. I got an NBA conference that I'm going to be out there for. So Chicago, and more Chicago.
You should go buy pro wrestling tees while you're out there. Pick us something up and take some pictures.
Are they out there? I didn't
Yeah,
know.
Chicago.
Okay.
Got the storefront. D, what's going on this weekend?
Only vintage shit, though, dog.
Hold on. I'm going to go back to your chat.
Yeah, dog. Go back to the chat. I'm back in town, man. I'm here for at least 2 weeks. I'll be chilling this weekend. Hopefully, still catching up on sleep. Hopefully, my body's still resetting. But we're here, bro. What day is the Memphis Wrestling at Redbirds Stadium?
It's next Friday, but I'm sorry. I clicked on the link on accident here. And
Let's go, 5-star.
I'm quickly trying to click off of it just in case my Maria walks in here or something. I don't know.
Don't
What
run
was the
from
question?
it. Don't run from it, 5-star.
What's the
Embrace
question?
Embrace it, bro. Hey, this is wrestling. You're working. Hey, if she comes in, just say, babe, I'm working.
I'm working. They send me
If
this link.
anybody knows Sky Blue, tell her that we would love to have her in Memphis Wrestling. Clip this. Actually, clip this and send it to her. Sky Blue, we would love to have you live here in Memphis, Tennessee.
For great reason. For two
Oh,
great
yeah. All right.
Two-
Before we get in trouble, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end. I'm crying. I'm literally crying. You guys got me dying over here. All right. Easy Rock, Eric McMahon for Devin Walker, baby. And Dustin Starr. Saying so long, everybody. How do I get this off my screen?
Yeah.
Get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah.
Oh,
Dummy.
hell yeah.
Shout out.
No.